This just to carry the video on.
So, when you do the timing chains on these 1 litre to the 1.4 engines, you need to drop the sump because you put load on the oil pump. The oil pumps are common for these for braking. You can have a look on eBay, you can actually buy a repair kit for them. So that's bits of the oil pump that have broke, so the car had no oil pressure when it come back. So I'll put the first vid up first, and then I'll do this part 2 vid, if you like, that I'm doing now. So I've cleaned up, I've had a spare timing cover or chest, because it's took bits and pieces of that out. I don't fancy, well, it's actually warm there as well, so I don't fancy putting that back on and pissing out oil. I got this cover, so a place I worked at had an engine in it, 1.2. I think it had bottom end had fell out of it, so they had all this stuff and they were scrapping it. My brother at the time had the 1.2 car, so I think you can probably find a video of that on the YouTube actually on my channel. So I've had bits and pieces, rocker covers, there's a wing mirror in there, a screen wash bottle. So I've took it all apart again. That one's cleaning up, everything's stripped apart for tomorrow, so I'll get it all cleaned up because it's 8 o'clock now at night and got work in the morning as well. So I've took this oil pump apart, cleaned it all up, made sure that everything was right. Turns nice when I put the oil pump driving. Saved the bit of the coolant. I've got another bottle over there. Get it built back up. I shouldn't have, so I've undone the bolts around the sump now, so you can actually force it down a little bit, so it should be alright. We should get away with it, I think. As long as there's no pressure on the upwards, well, coming up, no pressure up, so then when I put the cover back on, it's not forcing it up and putting tension on the oil pump drive, and so we'll get it built back up. It actually, the noise went and it just sounded rattly, and it actually sounded like it'll probably sound good once there was oil pressure there. So the tensioners on these are spring loaded. I've put the pin back in the new one, because you can probably reuse them if you were being on the cheap. So they're spring loaded, and they're also hydraulic, so they're spring loaded, so you can still run them if you've got a bad oil pump, or as long as there's no oil light on or out like that. So you layer them and they'll be rattling, which is where on the sprockets and the chain. So in the kit you get new sprockets for the cams, new sprocket for the crank. It's all pinned up, the bars along the cams at the back, and I've put the tool to lock the crank up. Be careful when you're locking the crank up, because there's 2 notches on the crank on the webs of the crank. So I think there's one below it or at the top. It's a smaller web. You can actually see it if you take the sump off completely, that there's 2 notches in it. So what I like to do on these is you can see on the back of the cams where the bar's in there. The timing kits are only cheap off eBay, and they're not that bad. So put the guides back in. Yeah, get it all built back up tomorrow, and then should be alright then. So my brother decided he would spray the tyre machine black, and this is the wheel balance that we've got. This one's all done. Built it all back up. However, we're still dead. I need a battery charger so I can charge everything again, but it's still punting a little bit. I'm fed up of stripping it down and messing about with it. I've got it where the marks suggest. So if you have a look at the technical data, or Autodata if you like, it doesn't list for the chain on the VVT the VVT model, sorry. It only lists the chain on the normal 2 litre ones, which all it is there's a notch on the exhaust cam. It's flat, so you want to line that up with the cylinder head, so it's flat. There's I think there's a little dot, yeah, there's a dot on the VVT pulley. You need to make sure it's flat as well, so it's in line with the head. And then obviously the timing belt pulley will have a little line in it for the cam cap or cam shaft, carrier cap, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that's it. See you in a bit. So it's all running. Thanks for watching.